Hey Echo Youth, so it's Angie here from the Richards Bay Baptist Church team, and I want to share my story of holding on to God through a very difficult situation. And it actually happened now during lockdown, where we lost my dad to fourth stage lung cancer. And just a little bit of background about that is my dad had been unwell from December with a pain in his shoulder, but none of us knew what it was. He had been to doctor after doctor and had blood tests taken, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with his shoulder. And lockdown started, so my dad took that time to rest. And after about 3 or 4 weeks of lockdown, he was like really battling to walk. My mom phoned me in tears because my dad was just going through painkillers after painkillers, and she knew it wasn't healthy for him. And on the 1st of May, we actually moved back home in with my parents, and I saw my dad for the first time after 5 weeks, and he looked really, really, really old. He had aged a lot. And in those 2 weeks of us moving in, my dad was diagnosed with the fourth stage lung cancer, and then 4 days later passed away. It was really difficult for me, especially because I was really close to my dad. And I had to now try and figure out how life was going to work without my dad present. And coming from the past that I came from, which was whenever things went wrong, I would automatically throw myself into drugs or into alcohols and parties. But that was before knowing Jesus. And now knowing Jesus, obviously that is not the answer. And it took a lot. I really had to hold on to God with everything inside of me to not fall apart, to not want to backslide, especially being in ministry and having a relationship with God. So it took a lot of self-discipline and, plugging myself into God, reading His Word every day, knowing that His promises are not to harm us, but to prosper us. And I really had to tap into God and realize that, my dad is in a better place. And it would be selfish of me to want my dad back, as much as I was missing him so much. And all I can say is, honestly, if it wasn't for my walk with God and holding on to God and just hearing from Him and speaking to Him and leaning into Him, I don't think I would have stayed on the right track. I think even if I didn't go back into drugs and alcohol, I definitely would have found another way to vent my anger and my frustrations and the hurts. The one verse that's throughout my life of knowing Jesus that has kept me going through difficult situations has been Jeremiah 29 verses 11, where it says that God's plans are not to harm us, but to prosper us. So when difficult situations come, it's not because God is trying to harm us, but that God has a bigger plan for each one of our lives, including the people that we lose. So I just want to encourage you guys that when life throws hard things at you, hold on to God, because He is our anchor and He is our hope. So I just want to share a little bit practically on what that looked like, holding on to God. So obviously my dad being one of my closest, I would always talk to my dad about anything that bugged me. If there was something that I was being challenged with in work or within my family, with my children, I would always go to my dad. And then obviously suddenly with the absence of my dad being there, I had to lean even more into God and make God that person that I would cry to or speak to or just confide in. I just really want to encourage you guys that, when times are hard, to lean into God even more. Let God replace whatever is absent in your life. Let Him fill that void.
Sure, thanks, Angie. It must be hard just to share something so personal. I know, Vi, you shared a bit with your experience on the first series of Hold On, the first part.
Yes.
I want to just quickly go through to that verse that Angie shared, Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope in the future." But the verse straight after that, it says, "Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." Do you want to share just a few thoughts on how to really just do that, and why does that actually make such a difference?
I think it's as simple as the verse says. I mean, there are so many ways to move away from feeling bad. And as Angie said, you can seek things that are going to make you feel okay at that time of difficulty. But as the verse says, I think it's pretty general. You seek God and you will get that comfort, and you'll get that hope back. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think this is the beauty of Christ, is the fact that it says, yeah, seek and you will find. You know, he will reveal to you himself. And that's the beauty. When we go to the world to grab something to hold on to, it's always something that will slip away. It's never something that's permanent. But we can hold on to God because he actually gives us something that is permanent. He gives us something to hold on to. And so I want to challenge you guys this week, no matter whether you're going through something that's really painful or that's hurt you, or whether it's just something that you're angry and frustrated about, hold on to God. Seek him. Pray to God, and he promises you. I'm going to read what it says. It says, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. And so throw yourself completely into God with all your heart, not just a part, but completely. And I promise you, you will find God, and he will fill you. He will give you something to hold on to that doesn't just give something for now, but it fills you for eternity. We hope that this really blessed you and encouraged you. And hold on to God.
Thank you.
Cool. Cheers, guys.